leur répondit. Vous pensez que c'est facile de dormir avec vos grandes gueules? Vous pensez que c'est facile d'être ici, ailleurs et partout à la fois? Il y a des fois je recommencerai tout ça sans Ève et sans Adam. Que des chiens, que des chats, que des champs et des bois. Et s'il faut que je vous le redise dans votre vocabulaire, vous me faites. Que des chiens, que des chats, que des chiens, que des chats.
So, you're a philosopher?
Yes. 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 I think very deeply. I think very deeply. I think very deeply. I think very deeply.
In about 4 seconds, a teacher will begin to speak.
I think very deeply.
I'm as mad as hell, and I'm not gonna take this anymore!
Happy New Year. I love this song. God is... Anyway. So, what's up, everybody? You're listening to Breaking News, absolutely breaking the news with Harry, a.k.a. The Brave, on WNHH LP 103.5 FM, your home for community radio. How's everybody doing out there? I hope the start to your new year is spectacular, right? As spectacular as the job that our great president is doing right now. Donald J. Trump has been doing a spectacular job defending America. Absolutely defending America. And then you have all these loons, right? All these loons who are constantly, trying to bring him down, questioning everything he does. If Trump if Trump actually gave everyone $1 million, they'd complain that he didn't give them $1,001. It's that simple. Everybody, the media, I shouldn't say everybody, because you have 50% of America who thinks he's doing a great job, right? They think Trump is doing a great job. And then you have the 33% of America, the loons. Or let me say not 50% of America, about 43 to 46% of America think Trump is doing a good job. Then you have 33% of the radical left, right? Because you have around, same thing, 43% of the left who, some of them are voting for Trump. But then you have 33% of the radical crazies who wouldn't be happy, like Sean Hannity says, if he cured cancer. If Trump cured cancer, they'd be all over him. They'd be wondering who he stole it from, or why is he curing cancer? We need cancer. Somehow they'd get there. And I talk to people all the time here. Today, for some reason, I didn't have the usual talks that I bring you every time I do my show. Wait. So every time I do my show, I talk about the insane asylum that I work at, and all the people who come and attack me because I'm the only conservative here, right? Now, actually, I just recently in the summer I changed my voting, my affiliation. I was a registered Democrat still till this summer, right? I was a Democrat most of my life. I switched at one point to independent. Then I switched back to Democrat. And now I'm unaffiliated because, to tell you the truth, if like today, if Reagan was running today, I'd be a Reagan Democrat. Trump is the president today. I'm basically a Trump Democrat, but I hate the Democrat tag. Can't do it anymore. Democrat really stands for insane, right? It's doing the same thing over and over and over, trying to get a different result, but with the same process over and over and over. And that's who I work with. I work with people who actually know that the process that they go through is bordering on evil, right? Fooling the people who follow them, right? It's basically that. They know they basically feed off the gullible, right? So you have people who are low information people. A lot of people are low information people. I was telling that to one of the people who were doing a show here today. I was like, you have to get educated. He was regurgitating everything MSNBC says. Regurgitating it. And he was telling me how the president doesn't have the power to defend America. He has to go through Congress. He can't do that. And then when I go, yeah, but did you feel this way when Obama was president? Because he got into Libya. He destabilized Libya. Libya is owned by Al Qaeda and ISIS right now. That was Obama and Hillary Clinton, right? Obama went into Syria, drew a red line, and then didn't do anything about them crossing a red line, right? So that's the type of stuff that they were used, and they didn't care, right? Obama got into wherever he wanted to. Obama used to drone strike everybody. Obama used a drone strike to kill an American. And do you see any impeachment? Do you see anything? The left doesn't really care. The left doesn't really care what a president is doing if they're Democrat. Now, they have all the problems in the world now. And like I said, some of them actually think that president doesn't have the power to defend America, to actually order a drone strike or to send combat troops to defend something that is in the interest of America, right? So it's a problem, right? Because they equate a defensive attack, which, by the way, this guy had been escalating and escalating all through the process. First, they shot down a drone. Then they were attacking contractors, right? Then they attacked an embassy. Come on, what are you supposed to do? I mean, I was listening to Joe Ugly this morning, and according to Joe Ugly, you're supposed to just put your tail between your legs. That's his solution. Oh, because, unless you know what you're going to do down the road, you can't do. That's insane to think that our military doesn't have a plan. To think that our military doesn't have a plan. I spoke with somebody else today who said this, who asked me, are you okay with what happened in, what Trump did to Iran? Now, what Trump did to Iran, they didn't mention Iran attacking our embassy. They didn't mention Iran killing an American contractor. They don't mention stuff like that. They want to know if I'm okay with what Trump did to Iran, the number one sponsor of terror in the world. They're worried about Iran. And that's the normal stuff you get from the Democrats. Now, they didn't have a problem with Obama sending pallets of money, billions of dollars, to Iran in order to get along with Trump. You know that Obama was paying them to, to not attack us. The problem was that they were continuously attacking us. Obama changed nothing by sending them that money. By getting into a treaty, or not a treaty because he didn't go through Congress, by signing the Iran deal, the nuclear deal, that basically told them, go dormant for 10 years, and in 10 years you could start up your nuclear program again. It's insane. But the Democrats never complained of that. Did Obama go through Congress to send them billions of dollars? Cash in pallets. Did Obama go through Congress? No. Should he have gotten impeached? Maybe. But one of the people who usually stops at my table and talks a lot, they just passed by and said, your president is doing this so that he could win the election. He's angry. Kind of, I don't know. It's like he has something personal against me. And he didn't give me a chance to answer that because Trump ran in 2016 as a non-war guy, right? He doesn't want to be an interventionist. He doesn't want to rebuild other countries. He doesn't want to. But he did run saying, I don't want a war, but I will bomb the shit out of whoever messes with us. So if you're wondering what's Trump doctrine, what's the Trump doctrine on foreign policy, on wars or on conflicts, not wars, the Trump doctrine is simple. I will bomb the shit out of you. That's simple. It is that simple. Now, the problem with everybody is really, like I was telling the guy, Shafiq's co-host, Ose, I think his name is, Kingston, Ose Kingston, I think. Anyway, like I was telling him, get educated. Don't go by what you're regurgitating from MSNBC. They've been wrong for the last 3 years. They promised you collusion. They promised you collusion. And they went through, and it turns out, right? They went through a Mueller investigation. There was no collusion, no obstruction, right? And then the what's his name? The IG, the Inspector General Horowitz, came out with a report in December that said not only was there no collusion, but the whole investigation was based on a lie. Go read the report, people. I mean, it's that simple. You have to actually do your homework. Don't go, and you know what the MSNBC and CNN did? They went and they took bits and pieces of information from the Horowitz report to say, oh, you see, they didn't have bias against Trump. That's what the report says. That's not what the report said. Horowitz, at at another hearing about 2 days later said he didn't find bias. He didn't find that they did it because of bias, but there was plenty of bias. But since he can't read their hearts and they won't admit to it, he couldn't say that it was bias. But he said there was obvious bias. And of course, if you read the text messages from the FBI agent in charge and his paramour, the Department of Justice lawyer, there was plenty of bias. They hated Trump. It's pretty simple. If you actually do your homework, and that's the biggest problem, that most of the people aren't doing their homework. They don't do their homework anymore. They sit in front of the TV, and the thing is that the worst of everything, and I know people here who sit in front of the TV and watch Rachel Maddow, and they just take everything she says as if it's the Bible, right? When it's simple, you sit in front of the TV. Look, I watch Rachel Maddow just to laugh. It's a comedy. But if you sit in front of the TV watching Rachel Maddow, it's pretty simple. Keep your laptop there, and everything she says, check it. Everything she says, just check it. And don't just watch Rachel Maddow. Watch Don Lemon from CNN. I love when Tucker Carlson says that. Don Lemon. And watch Laura Ingraham. Watch Hannity. Don't just look at one side of the coin and take them as gospel. You should look at all sides of the coin. Flip the coin. Watch Hannity. Flip the coin. Watch sometimes Tucker Carlson. Watch what's his name? The guy who was drunk for New Year's Eve. What's his name? The rich guy. Anyway, watch CNN. Anderson Cooper. Watch CNN sometimes. But watch everything. Absorb the information and then double check it. It's not that hard. But don't double check it with opinion pieces. Not on the right or on the left. Double check it with fact-based pieces. Or just go straight to the video on YouTube. If they say that Trump said something, make them prove it. And the way you do that is you go and you check the video yourself or read the transcript. Not that hard. I challenged someone in this office recently to go and read the transcript on the Charlottesville incident, where a bunch of white supremacists, were marching, and then Antifa came, a big thing happened, and then somebody ran over someone else. The person told me that Trump sided with the white supremacists. That's not true. It's not true. And if you go and read the transcript or go and look at the whole video, you realize that Trump basically tore down or he mutilated the white supremacists from the get-go. Right? And what happens afterwards, he says, now he starts talking about the protest that had nothing to do with Antifa or the white supremacists. Nothing to do with them. He starts talking about the protesters and saying that the protesters, some of them were good people on each side because they were there to protest the statue. They weren't there to call each other names. They weren't there to, look at the other side and demean or degrade the race of someone else. They were there about the statue. Some of them were good people there. Now, I try to explain that to people, but they're brainwashed by the clips that CNN and MSNBC have shown them. Now, it's pretty simple. You could go and look up the whole clip on YouTube, or even better, you go and you read the transcript. If you read the transcript, you realize that Trump never was with the white supremacists. Never. He was against them. Right? So anyway, I'm going to take a quick break. You've been listening to Breaking News, absolutely breaking the news with Harry, a.k.a. The Brave, on WNHH LP 103.5 FM, your home for community radio.
Les yeux leur répondit. Vous pensez que c'est facile de dormir avec vos grandes gueules? Vous pensez que c'est facile d'être ici, ailleurs et partout à la fois? Il y a des fois, je recommencerai tout ça sans Ève et sans Adam. Que des chiens, que des chats, que des champs et des bois. Et s'il faut que je vous le redise, dans votre vocabulaire, vous me faites. Que des chiens, que des chats, que des chiens, que des chats.
You're listening to Breaking News, absolutely breaking the mainstream media with Harry, a.k.a. The Brave, on WNHH LP 103.5 FM, your home for community radio. All right, so let's go with something kind of local. Senator Chris Murphy. He's been on our program, not my program, on Paul's program. But here goes something. I'm gonna read a tweet, or we can read it together. Right? So this tweet was after the first attack where the Iranian militia attacks and kills an American contractor, right? And then after that, Trump bombs the terrorists, that militia, and kills about 25. And then Iran's militia attacks the embassy, right? So they attack the embassy in Baghdad. And so Chris Murphy and a bunch of opportunists, not opportunists because they thought they saw weakness, so they went in. But anyway, let's read Chris Murphy's tweet. The attack on our embassy in Baghdad, because they were trying to make it Trump's Benghazi. And for those people who don't understand what Benghazi is, now under the Obama administration, and while Hillary Clinton was Secretary of State, they attacked one of our, embassies or consulates over there in Libya, right, in Benghazi, right. And if you want to know more of the story, there's a movie on it, 13 Hours. Go and check out that movie. It's pretty cool, and it tells you what happened, right? So our ambassador to Libya is over there. Where he's at is under attack. The consulate, or wherever he was in Benghazi, was under attack, and basically they're left to fend for themselves because we had a CIA post over there where we had American contractors, right, doing what they do, national security on the low, right? So they were there they want to go in and help our ambassador, and they're told to stand down. Okay? So Washington tells them to stand down. So our ambassador ends up dying, being dragged. It was a shame. It was embarrassing. And and the Obama administration took a lot of slack for that. Hillary Clinton took a lot because they basically left those people to die. Right? Now, like I said, go watch the movie 13 Hours. It's pretty good. So anyway, so what the Democrats are try to do was say this was Trump's Benghazi. Problem is that Trump sent, Marines there immediately to go and defend our embassy, right? And we made the militia go away. Right? So in the midst of all this, we get intelligence that whatever his name is, Soleimani, I don't know what his name is, but so the Iranian military leader comes in through the Baghdad airport, but we have intelligence saying that he's coming in to plan worse things for our American troops there. So now this guy has been labeled a terrorist, I think, since 2005. But Trump had last year declared the Iranian Guard terrorists. So they're military. So this guy's on the list. So when you hear people saying that he got assassinated, it's a lie. This is another terrorist that Obama refused to go get, right? Another terrorist who we knew was the leader of these terrorists killing people, innocent people, and trying to kill or harm Americans, right? But everybody didn't have the cojones, right? Trump's cojones drag on the floor. They're so large. So Trump ordered the hit. He ordered the takedown of this guy. And they did a drone strike and they killed him. Right? But anyway, so let's get to this tweet. So this is before Trump kills the Iranian military leader, right? So Chris Murphy trying to jump in, right? Being an opportunist, but of course he should wait because these people Trump is not Obama. He's not weak. He's not weak-kneed. His knees aren't clapping. Right? So Chris Murphy tweets, "The attack on our embassy in Baghdad is horrifying but predictable. Trump has rendered America impotent in the Middle East. No one fears us. No one listens to us. America has been reduced to huddling in safe rooms, hoping the bad guys will go away." No, that's Benghazi, Chris. That's Benghazi. That's what Obama did. You think you think that Iranian leader doesn't fear us? Probably he doesn't anymore. He's dead. He's dead. Something Obama wouldn't do. No, Obama's method, send them billions. Billions. In cash. Let's pay them off. Hopefully they'll stop killing Americans. Hopefully they'll stop terrorizing the world. Instead, what they did is they used those millions to fund their terrorism all over the world. Make them stronger. Obama made them stronger. And Trump just made them weaker. Not that hard, right? So America has been reduced to huddling in safe rooms, hoping the bad guys will go away. I don't think so, Chris. Right? And now, this is before the attack. And let's read Chris Murphy's tweet after Trump takes out the Iranian, what's his name? Soleimani, whatever his name is. Right, so this is Chris's tweet, the new tweet. Check it out. Soleimani was an enemy of the United States. That's not a question. Duh. The question is this: as reports suggest, did America just assassinate, without any congressional authorization, the second most powerful person in Iran, knowingly setting off a potential massive regional war? Setting off a potential massive regional war. Everybody is at war against Iran in that region. He's not setting off anything. Iran has been at war with us and that region for years, before Trump. But they write stuff like this knowing that you're a low information person, a low information voter. They don't think that you're going to do your homework, and you're probably not. So he was upset with Trump because he thought Trump was going to be like Obama and not do anything. The Americans are stuck huddling in safe rooms. No, bro. This American just blew the shift out of Soleimani. He blew the shift out of him. But this is who represents Connecticut. These are the people who represent us in the Senate. They lie to you. They misconstrue information purposely. They feed you propaganda so you don't know any better. And they consider you lazy. They consider you mentally lazy. They don't expect you to do your homework. And you don't. All right, I'm going to take another quick break, and I'll be right back. You're listening to Breaking News with Harry, a.k.a. The Brave, on WNHH LP 103.5 FM, your home for community radio.
Yo, it's the G-O-D, B-O-D, yeah, rock your body. Illegal business controls America. Business controls America.
I never ever ran from the Ku Klux Klan, and I shouldn't have to run from a black man.
Industry rule number 4080. Record companies are shady. Yeah, I know y'all been waiting. Y'all been patient. Let's go. I be the MC version of Huey P, the all-seeing through my 2020 brown Bruce Lee's, Malcolm X / Muhammad Ali, karate chop the rider's block with the Hasi Selassie karate. Your photo shoots with the same old stare. You're sitting there in the wicker chair, holding the heat. You're in the spare with my coalition comrades in the rear. Pat downs, Peasy, we here with their fists because of what I say. These just wanna blast me away, but I'll be back with no delay like Jesus Christ on Easter Sunday. In the ringers, they wanna murder God body. Sacrifice the life of the Christ on Good Friday. Resurrect and return the wreck. Snap a nigga neck for some live effects. Approach the podium, give a mic check, adjust the specs, bless the chest with a bulletproof vest before I catch wreck. Spitting and spazzing yo in the side of assassins and rapping before biggest bullets be blasting yo at my black ass and hit a free the hood from the mental enslavement. This ain't gangster rap, this is a form of entertainment. Controversial, kissy no sins coming through the speaker like the brick through the living room window of a civil rights leader. Prolific, gifted, leaving spirits lifted like Dr. King's last words before we got his cap twisted. I'm told I'm a nigga with an attitude, cause I choose to spell America like Ice Cube, you're white America. I got some real bad news, me and my crew's about to open up some all black schools. I ain't Jacob, but wake up baby, I drop jewels on young types to keep their business tight like kites core jewels. Apologize, I highly refuse when it's cool. Yo, when I choose to use the word, we're in referring to my black brothers and sisters. When you really want me to mistreat my Miss Silly like Mr. Like Rama, I just want you to follow the leader. When Whitey want me to beat her like Sally told Harpo to do to Sophia. Leave the color purple bruises on her complexion, need to give her everlasting love and affection with every inch of my insurrection in a midsection. In producing positive pregnancy tests, I bring the drama like some of Osama. Suicide bombers pose like a comma as I preach and teach truth like Dalai Lama.
Alright, you're listening to Breaking News. Absolutely breaking the news with Harry, a.k.a. The Brave. Now what is that music? right, so let's get into the Golden Globes yesterday. I didn't watch it, but I saw a clip this morning that had me cracking up. You gotta listen to this. This is Ricky Gervais. He's the one who hosted the Golden Globes. But you gotta see it. Gotta see it. This is hilarious. All right, let's get there now.
Hello and welcome to the 77th Annual Golden Globe Awards, live from the Beverly Hilton Hotel here in Los Angeles. I'm Ricky Gervais, thank you. You'll be pleased to know this is the last time I'm hosting these awards, so I don't care anymore. I'm joking, I never did. Let's go out with a bang. Let's have a laugh at your expense, shall we? Remember, they're just jokes. We're all gonna die soon, and there's no sequel. I came here in a limo tonight, and the license plate was made by Felicity Huffman. So, no, shush. It's her daughter I feel sorry for, okay? That must be the most embarrassing thing that's ever happened to her. And her dad was in Wild Hogs. No one cares about movies anymore. No one goes to the cinema. No one really watches network TV. Everyone's watching Netflix. This show should just be me coming out going, well done, Netflix, you win everything. Good night. You could binge watch the entire first season of Afterlife instead of watching this show. Spoiler alert, season 2 is on the way, so in the end, he obviously didn't kill himself. Just like Jeffrey Epstein. Shut up. I know he's your friend, but I don't care. It was a big year for paedophile movies. Surviving R. Kelly, Leaving Neverland, Two Popes. Shut up. Shut up. I don't care. I don't care. The Irishman was amazing. Long, but amazing. It wasn't the only epic movie. Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, nearly 3 hours long. Leonardo DiCaprio attended the premiere, and by the end, his date was too old for him. So... Many talented people of colour were snubbed in major categories. Unfortunately, there's nothing we can do about that. The Hollywood foreign press are all very, very racist. So, we were going to do an in memoriam this year, but when I saw the list of people that had died, it wasn't diverse enough. It just, no. Apple roared into the TV game with a morning show, a superb drama, yeah. A superb drama about the importance of dignity and doing the right thing, made by a company that runs sweatshops in China. So, well, you say you're woke, but the companies you work for, I mean, unbelievable. Apple, Amazon, Disney. If ISIS started a streaming service, you'd call your agent. If you do win an award tonight, don't use it as a platform to make a political speech, right? You're in no position to lecture the public about anything. You know nothing about the real world. Most of you spent less time in school than Greta Thunberg. So, if you win, right, come up, accept your little award, thank your agent and your God, and... So,
he's an F off, okay?
It's already 3 hours long.
And there you go. That was spectacular. That was Ricky Gervais at his best. And he basically said the truth. His jokes were so... they were so pointed, but so true. I mean, they were just perfect. Because all of these people live in their bubble, right? They live over there in Hollywood, where there's homelessness everywhere, where there's human feces all over the place, needles. I saw a report from, I think it was an NBC affiliate over there in California, where a mother was showing the reporter how she has to basically walk her daughter. It's like a minefield. Walk her daughter through the minefield. There was feces, there was needles, and these Hollywood loons who think they know better about life or what's best for you, right? They live in their bubble. They don't want you to have your Second Amendment right, but they walk around with bodyguards who have guns, right? But they don't want you protected. Oh my God, I forgot to pull up this one. Elizabeth Warren saying that she doesn't feel any safer about the church shooting. Was it Elizabeth Warren? One of the politicians. I don't want to credit Elizabeth Warren if it wasn't her. Was it? I think it was Elizabeth Warren who said she doesn't feel any safer. That somebody, a parishioner next to her, might have a gun. But the guy's a good guy. If he doesn't have a gun and the bad guy comes in, you're all dead. But they try to pass on this silly sense and pawn it off as common sense. It's just insane, and that's exactly what Hollywood does. And I'm glad he said, when you come up and get your award, don't say any political statement. You don't know Schiff. You don't know shit about what's going on. So, that, like I said, that was excellent. Let's see where I'm going now. Oh, if you remember when our military ordered strikes on Baghdadi, right? When we killed al-Baghdadi, at the time, one of the worst terrorists, right? I think this guy, Soleimani, is actually worse than al-Baghdadi, right? He terrorized the whole Middle East for a lot longer than al-Baghdadi did, right? But when we killed that terrorist, al-Baghdadi, if you remember, the papers, the media, the mainstream media, the New York Times, Washington Post, I don't know which one, called al-Baghdadi an austere religious scholar, right? Because they wanted you to think that Trump killed a good guy. Well, this time the Washington Post called Soleimani Iran's most revered military leader. He's killing his own people. They're rioting in in Iran right now because that regime is killing its own people. But, and this is what I mean. You have people, I'm trying to find the right words because I don't like actually labeling and dissing people so much. But there's just no other words. You have simple-minded people who read the headline and make their whole determination from the headline. I've spoken with people who tell me, oh yeah, I saw the article. I read the article, and don't know anything that's in the article. They just know the headline. Well, didn't they say that Trump did this, Trump did that? But do you read the article? Because they hide the truth sometimes in the article. You just gotta read the article. Anyway, so al-Baghdadi was a austere religious scholar, and Soleimani is a revered military leader. It just gets worse and worse for these people. You can't trust them with anything. You can't trust them with anything. You have to. You have to do your own homework. Now, what they do, and I'll admit this, I read the articles myself. I just don't get fooled because I see it as a crumb. I see it as a crumb that I need to follow the facts on, right? So I know if they have a headline, they have some real information in the article, but you have to go beyond that, and I just use it as a crumb and find the next crumb. Right? So it's insane. I try. We all should try to be better. And when I say that a lot. Be better. I mean, actually take the time to educate yourself. Or take the time. Or look, if you're not interested in politics if you're not interested, if you're just not interested and don't want to know more information than the headline, then don't vote. You're an uninformed person going to the voting booth and it's going to make an idiot choice. Don't be a willful idiot. Don't be that. You can be better. And I know a lot of intelligent people who are willfully ignorant. They know the truth. They know the truth. They see what's going on. And then, since they're Democrats, right? So that means that they put Obama on a pedestal. You know, I know some people who had the Obama picture, you know, in the communist colors, right? They had that Obama picture and they thought of him as one of the best leaders alive, right? And then when I point out their hypocrisy on the stuff that they try to call Trump out on, that Obama did it and sometimes did it worse, they don't want to hear it. They do not want to hear the truth. It hurts. The truth always hurts. All right, let's get to a video. This is Lindsey Graham. No, this is too long. I can't play this one. But basically, he's saying that Nancy Pelosi is trampling on the Constitution. You hear this stuff about the Democrats, that Trump, the articles of impeachment. Let's take the articles of impeachment of Nancy Pelosi, right? The articles of impeachment are abuse of power and obstruction of Congress. Now, the House of Representatives impeached Donald Trump on 2 articles, right? Abuse of power and obstruction of Congress. Now, what is Nancy Pelosi doing with those articles? Is she abusing her power by not sending them off to the Senate? That's her job. That's her only job left. In everything she had to do to get to the point of impeaching our president, this is her final step, and she's abusing her power by not sending over those articles. That's simple, right? So she's actually doing what she's accusing Trump of, which they haven't proven that he did. Where has Trump abused his power? They didn't prove it, right? Or they could try to label anything an abuse of power. You know, Trump farting in the Oval Office might be an abuse of power to a Democrat, right? And then you have obstruction of Congress. Obstruction of Congress. Obstruction of Congress. This lady refuses to send the articles of impeachment to the Senate, in effect, obstructing Congress. She's obstructing the Senate's job. It's that simple. So, in their articles of impeachment, they're the biggest hypocrites in the world. You have Adam Schiff, who ran the impeachment inquiry in a basement, hiding everything, all the testimonies, putting on an audition until they were ready to bring out the witnesses that they felt were relevant. They refused to give the Republicans any witnesses. They refused to give the Republicans a hearing day. They were abusing their power and obstructing Congress then too. But you know, I'm sure you saw on CNN, right? You saw on CNN something that told you different. You don't bother to check it. You don't bother to check if they're following the same rules and regulations that they did under the Clinton impeachment and under the Nixon impeachment. No, Nixon never got impeached, but they went through the process. Anyway, so let's move on to the next thing. Now, Joe Biden has been criticizing Trump's attack on Soleimani, right? Because he, Biden thinks, he has all the power and experience and the knowledge. He was President Obama's vice president. So he knows what he's talking about, right? So a Fox News reporter went and asked him. Now, this Fox News reporter, he's Peter Doocy. He does go after Biden and ask him really tough questions, right? He doesn't, do what the rest of the media does, try to protect Biden. He asks hard questions. So he asked Biden, if you were president and you had actionable intelligence that Soleimani was going to attack more Americans and our allies and was planning bigger things against our allies and us, would you have the balls, paraphrasing of course, would you order the strike? And Biden didn't answer it because he's been criticizing Trump, right? So what he said is, we did. And his name was Osama bin Laden. So he tried to take credit for the decision to kill Osama bin Laden. Right? So he tried to take credit for that. Now, here's the problem. In 2011 was the bin Laden raid, right? That killed bin Laden. And then in 2012, Biden was giving a speech where he told, let's see if this clip has it. Let's see. Oh, this clip is not working, but all right. So he tells Joe Biden, tells a group, he was at a retreat where he stood up and he said that he told Obama not to go in and kill bin Laden. It's on video. Of course, this clip isn't working right now, but you can look it up. It's on YouTube, I'm sure. Right? So he goes in and he says, I told him not to kill bin Laden. Right? So, and now, when he tells the Fox News reporter, I did make the call. And the Fox News reporter says, wait a minute, didn't you tell Obama not to do the raid? And Biden, of course, lies, and nobody cares, except, for the reporter who asked it. Everybody else just dismisses it. Well, not true, because CNN has an article here somewhere where they say Biden is lying. They fact check him. And he said, he actually, in that retreat, there's video of him saying that he told Obama not to go in. And now he's trying to take credit for that. This guy is a weak-kneed fool. He wouldn't go in. Obama didn't want to go in. From all the rumors from back then, it was Hillary Clinton, basically, that pushed Obama to go in. But not Joe. Joe is a weak-kneed fool. All right. Let's try to go through this real fast. What do I have here? Oh, this is a good one. This is Major Garrett, CBS, and he's talking about stuff that happened in 2019. This is pretty good.
And wish you'd covered.
Right. So sometimes undercovered stories are complicated, and this one, I think, falls resolutely in that category. The president's relationship to people of color in this country. His rhetoric is indefensible even by many Republicans. Charlottesville, send her back this year, is what people hear and think about when they think about the president and people of color. And yet, it can be fairly said that this administration, because of President Trump's quiet prodding, has done quite a bit for funding of historically black colleges and universities. The First Step Act, which was a massive first step toward criminal justice reform. Just a couple of weeks ago, in this newly signed defense bill, there is a law that says if you are seeking work for the federal government or any contractor, you don't have to be asked, and you cannot be asked about your criminal history until right toward the end. That's a significant change, long sought by criminal justice advocates. Plus opportunity zones in the tax bill directed at communities of color. That is a legacy on the agenda side that almost any president after 3 years would want to claim, particularly President Obama. Many of those things were sought, but you know what? Republicans would not go for it. Quietly, persistently, President Trump has pushed Republicans in this direction, and I think that's an undercovered story. What did I wish I...
All right, so there you go. That was one guy finally talking about the truth about Trump and what he's been doing, right? Trump has been helping the minority community all through the 3 years. He's been there helping the minority community. Nobody reports it. Nobody cares. But that's Trump. All right, I got to get out of here. You've been listening to Breaking News, absolutely breaking the news with Harry, a.k.a. The Brave, on WNHH LP 103.5 FM, your home for community radio. See ya!
So, you're a philosopher?
Yes. 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 I think very deeply. I think very deeply. I think very deeply. I think very deeply.
In about 4 seconds, a teacher will begin to speak.
I think very deeply.
And you're listening to WNHH LP 103.5 FM, broadcasting live from New Haven, Connecticut, and streaming live at www.newhavenindependent.org.